I'm John Kilhams and I've worked in the harbour since 1954. First started at Dalkey in about 1956, working for Tim Bradley, who owned the yard here, and as an apprentice, and he was drowned actually on the moorings whilst working, which left the yard open for someone else to move in. It was taken over by the Dalkey group at that time, and I continued as a first of all as their foreman, and then eventually as the manager of this department. But I remember a number of things that happened over the years. We had particularly high tides on one year, and we had water breaking right across this quay. We had the flood, the pub here, the Crown and Anchor, the cellars were completely flooded, and we had water halfway up the road towards the yard. We had 4-foot waves cresting over the top of the area where the dinghies store on the top of the quay here. We had an instance where Thorney Island helicopter used to come through and drop people off in the harbour here for bait digging. It used to hover right down over the mud and lower off people to dig bait, then go and do their tour around the harbour, coming back later to pick the crew up out of the mud and take them away with their bait for fishing in the afternoon. On one occasion that came down here, dropped crew off, and they got their rotors caught in the rigging of boats up at Westlands, and the helicopter came down at Westlands into the mud. Caused quite a stir and damaged quite a few boats. During the war, there was this was an airfield where the boatyard is, and the boatyard is actually built where the NAFI used to be. And we had along the shore here at that time there were houseboats, and some of these were the lifeboats, the old ex-lifeboats from the Mauritania. People had built cabins on top and so on. We had a little old chap down there called Jake, who used to live on one of these, and he had no electricity, just used to work on oil lamps and so on. He used to have to walk we had no water down there either, and he used to have to walk from his boat at the back end of the boatyard right up to the main road to a tap to get water and back down again. And we used to get harder winters, or we seemed to at that time. One winter I remember digging the whole access road out to the boatyard of nearly 4 foot of snow, which had drifted off the airfield. So, been a few events.